O Saints and Sinners by Morningstar Writes. Chapter 9. The Peace Before. Charlie is enthusiastic on a good day, but in full party planning mode, she's in under supernova. Okay, we've got a lot to get through today. Charlie sets down a huge bulletin board in the center of the room. It's plastered with inspiration pictures, sticky notes, and paint samples, which she gesticulates at wildly. As you know, we'll be throwing a very fancy ball at the hotel, and I've assigned rules for everyone. Charlie distributes large binders for everyone, complete with color-coded tabs and handwritten notes. Husk flips through the seemingly never-ending binder, and he looks put off by the sheer density of it. I ain't reading all that. Yeah, Charlie, what is this, like 100 pages? Angel drops the binder onto the table. 200 pages, actually, Charlie says cheerfully, and her voice starts to pick up in speed. It's just an overview of everything that's going to happen, but here's a very quick summary. So, I've arranged for a few big topics that we should focus on. Entertainment, food, decorations, theme, and music. I've left you individual assignments to complete in your binder. And as the finale for the party, I think it'd be fun if we all did like a huge musical number at the end. So let's practice for that. And also, Maggie puts a hand on her shoulder, which stops her in her track. Charlie, breathe. Charlie dutifully inhales, exhales, and then smiles at them brightly. I know it's a lot to do, but I think if we pull this off, it'll be all worth it. Without waiting for a response, she pins up a sparkly banner on the bulletin board and motions at it energetically. Presenting, dun 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 dun, the theme. What can be more beautiful and perfect than a masquerade ball? You may be a sinner, but for one night, you could be someone new, an improved version of you. What do you think? And the only acceptable answer is perfect, beautiful, wonderful, just so you know. Maggie says sternly, we've decided that the dress code will be black tie, which means floor-length gowns, three-piece suits, the works.
How very charming. Allow me to make some costumes for us. If you recall, I created your little outfits for that advertisement.
Alastor waves his hand at the television. Alastor, that's so nice of you to offer. Charlie beams. Maggie, however, looks at him with mild suspicion. Yeah, a little too nice. What's your goal here?
Must I always have ulterior motives?
Alastor displays his hand against his chest in mock outrage.
Why, I'm a little offended.
I'll believe it when I see it, Maggie grumbles. Alastor shrugs in response, but Lucifer is less focused on the conversation and more stuck on how during this whole exchange, Alastor had ignored his existence entirely. They're sitting in opposite ends of the room, on purpose. Lucifer had slipped to the corner when he saw him. Alastor had swiveled away instantly. Everyone else shuffled in to take the space in between, and now there's a distance that stretches only a few meters apart but feels like forever. Which he expected. And it's fine. Because they've been completely off kilter since the jazz club. Haven't met, heard, spoke to each other. And Lucifer has no idea what he would even say anyway besides an incomprehensible string of, hey, why'd you react that way when I said your name? Hey, what does temptation even smell like? Hey, why did you catch me in your arms? Whatever. He washes his hands of this business and chooses to concentrate on Charlie instead, who was still running down the checklist for everyone. So, are we all set to practice our musical finale each night? Charlie asks. Yeah, just letting you know, I'm really only familiar with the trumpet. Angel demonstrates by miming the instrument with his hands. Where are we gonna meet? There's a conference room that my dad and Alastor use to practice songs. Lucifer looks up when he hears Charlie mention him. Yeah. Lucifer clears his throat. It's upstairs. Feel free, of course. Thanks, Dad. For today, Niffty, could you please clean up? Alastor, watch over her.
I would be delighted to. Come along, Niffty,
Alastor says, picking her up by the scruff of her neck.
Those floors aren't going to clean themselves.
Righto!
Niffty salutes him as they walk away together. Lucifer looks down at his binder, suppressing the urge to watch Alastor's receding back. Which is why he doesn't notice Alastor finally glancing at him, quick and barely detectable. Alastor acts as Niffty's supervisor while she tidies up, and he helps conjure up whatever cleaning agent she requires. She dusts, sweeps, scrubs with a relish one does not normally associate with cleaning, and she sings at the top of her lungs as they go from room to room. It's when she's wiping down the radio that Niffty gasps and turns around to him.
I forgot to ask you, sir.
Why did you stop your show? When you were gone, the king and I listened to your broadcast.
Alastor's mind doesn't fully compute the statement.
Who was listening? The king, Lucifer.
Alastor blinks at this.
Why? He's so worried about you. Worried?
Alastor's smile is frozen on his face. It is quickly becoming his least favorite word, and it was something that Lucifer often said to him. Much too often, really.
What exactly did he say, Niffty? He asked where you were, and then he was muttering something about friends, but I couldn't understand.
Niffty turns around to continue cleaning, completely obtuse to the shocking news that she had just delivered to him.
Niffty, my dear, you need to provide me with details.
Alastor tries to pull Niffty off the radio to no avail.
What else? Why do you want to know so bad? You're being strange, Alastor.
And Alastor is at a loss for words. Why does he care so much about the antics of some washed-up king? And so what if Lucifer inquired about his absence?
I should have never met him,
Alastor mutters. Lucifer was all-consuming, and thinking about him does something to Alastor. Twists up his stomach, makes him spiral endlessly, and he hates not being in control of his body, his feelings, his choices, his mind, and he wants freedom from it all now. Perhaps the easiest path for him is to kill Lucifer. Alastor ponders over the logistics. 1. Lure him into a dark room. 2. Suppress his power somehow. 3. Kill him with an angelic weapon. And then decides it would be both too messy and too difficult to pull off. Unfortunately. No, Alastor will have to take the more arduous path instead, which involves seeing him, hearing him, understanding him, and maybe once he breaks him apart, piece by piece, Alastor will finally know why he can't resist the inexplicable pull of Lucifer's presence.
What did you say?
Niffty asks.
Oh, Niffty.
Alastor had forgotten that she was still there.
Just that I'm on a temporary hiatus. I'll be back on the radio before you know it.
Yay! Niffty cheers, skipping over his legs.
I'll tell the king when you're back on again.
Alastor's emotions are pulled into all sorts of directions at once. It goes like this. Lucifer finally stumbles upon Alastor in the kitchen where he's drinking from a pot of coffee. He has a matching cup on the side, and Lucifer feels a touch of guilt when he remembers that he still has Alastor's "oh dear" mug on his mantle. He should really return it. Alastor looks up when he hears his footsteps. Although his smile looks casually unaffected, he's exuding a sense of unease, really, which is ridiculous. Was there anything particularly menacing about Lucifer? And Alastor had mentioned time and time again that he wasn't afraid of anything or anyone, least of all him. But his hands are gripping around his cup, dear ears flattening, eyes watching, and Lucifer doesn't like seeing him like this, like he's just 2 seconds away from bolting into the night, never to be encountered again. Say something good, he thinks. Something calming, something that leads into a normal conversation. Oh, it's you.
It's his brilliant opening.
He goes to grab a cup of water, regretting everything, but somehow it works. You can practically feel Alastor's agitation lessening based on how he starts to leisurely sip his coffee.
The one and only.
Alastor gestures at himself with his free hand.
You'd think you would muster up a little more excitement to see a radio star.
A star? Lucifer scoffs. That's an exaggeration. I doubt anyone wants to listen to a has-been like you. Alastor's smile deepens.
Oh, I have it on good authority that I have at least 2 listeners.
He lifts up 2 fingers mockingly.
And that you were one of them.
What? Where did you even hear that from?
There are no secrets between Niffty and I. We have been friends for ages.
Ugh.
Friends, not that fucking word again.
For some reason, Lucifer's irritation shoots up in leaps and bounds. He leans against the kitchen counter, his hands gripping tightly onto the edge. I just happened to be there when Niffty was checking out your show, alright? She's the one who told me where you went, so. Alastor puts his cup down.
Why did you want to know?
Lucifer parries. Well, why did you leave it all? They both refuse to answer, and now it's back to being uncomfortable. Lucifer runs his hands through his hair, and his eyes flick over to Alastor's cup. His coffee is pitch black with steamy tendrils wafting into the air, and it admittedly smells delicious. Maybe he's been looking at it for too long because Alastor follows his gaze and lifts up his cup.
What's this now? Did you want some?
Lucifer jerks back, surprised that he was called out, and Alastor pushes the pot of coffee towards him.
Well, it's your lucky day. I'm feeling rather generous. Why don't you give it a try?
No. Wait. Lucifer is immediately wary. Seriously? Is this, poisoned?
Ha ha! What a jokester.
Alastor takes a sip to demonstrate that it's safe, and then he snaps his fingers knowingly.
Oh, how could I forget? You have a sweet tooth. You were waiting for this, weren't you?
He conjures up a pot of sugar cubes and a jug of milk, setting it down in front of Lucifer. Oh, that was unexpectedly nice of him. You... really?
Can you sit down before I change my mind?
Alastor looks increasingly peeved, his eyes twitching, and Lucifer finally pulls out a chair. They're seated across from each other, and Lucifer slowly reaches over to the pot, double-checking to see if Alastor is about to scream, "Just kidding!" or whatever. When Alastor remains motionless, Lucifer pours himself some coffee, and it almost feels like they're friends. Two pals, palling around, doing whatever pal activities that pals do because they're pals with each other. Hey, are we... Lucifer wants to know, desperately. Are we friends? But even he knew that it's not a question people ask. They either are or aren't. And real friends wouldn't constantly worry about the validity of their relationship.
Are we what?
Alastor inquires, gaze searching, smile ever present. Are we... Lucifer clears his throat. Cool.
Cool,
he repeats. The word sounds foreign coming out of his mouth. Yeah, cool with each other. Lucifer wants to backtrack, thank you very much, or perhaps have the ground swallow him up. I mean, at the jazz club. You hated when I said your name, right? Sorry. Alastor digs his claws into the tabletop. Oh, God. Sorry for saying sorry. His growl reverberates low-pitched and snarling. Fuck, okay, just never mind. Lucifer wants to whack himself over the head. He hurriedly tosses in some sugar cubes into his coffee. Instead of when he drinks it, he finds that it's really good, actually. He downs it, about to pour himself a second serving, and then hesitates. Technically, Alastor only offered him a taste, so... Lucifer takes his hand back, and as the silence grows like a yawning chasm, he makes a move to leave. But then... Alastor settles down and places his chin on his hands, his fingers interwoven with one another.
We're cool,
he says, amused.
Lucifer.
And it really does feel like maybe they'll be okay. Charlie ushers them all into the conference room, and she hands them each a thick stack of sheet music. I was thinking we'll have a schedule for music performances. I know we all play different instruments, so we'll just rotate who performs every 30 minutes. And at the end, we'll all perform together. Angel doesn't pay attention. Rather, he looks around the room in confusion, touching the stained glass windows with one of his hands, pointing at Alastor and Lucifer with another. Hey, since when did we have this place? And why is it decorated like some kind of weird love child between those two?
Why, it is simply a conference room. I had to make some little renovations after he messed it up.
Alastor points at Lucifer with his radio cane. That was all on you. You were making me angry on purpose, Lucifer retorts.
Not my fault that you have a short fuse, although it's not as short as your height,
says the one who gets all pissy at the smallest things.
No wonder you provoke me so much then. You are the smallest of them all.
Lucifer is about to snap back at him when he suddenly feels a strange tug on his leg. As he looks down, he finds Niffty climbing her way up until she settles atop his head.
I'll play the triangle,
Niffty says cheerfully, completely oblivious to their arguing. Alastor reaches over and plucks her off immediately, his displeasure apparent within his smile.
Niffty, why don't you sit on my head instead? It makes for a much more comfortable seat than his ridiculous hat.
Alastor places her on his head, and she whoops with joy. She runs her fingers through his hair, and Alastor flicks his deer ears away when she gets too close. Still, Lucifer watches resentfully as she buries herself face first onto his head.
Okay, everyone, let's find our places and go over some of these.
Charlie stands at the front, a conductor's baton in her hands, and at her signal they all begin to play. They work through the melody a few times, flipping through sheet after sheet. The songs range in style and era, and Lucifer focuses his attention on memorizing as much as possible, not wanting to mess up on the day of. He's playing his fiddle, and they all sound quite harmonious together, despite the varying instruments. It's only when the sun sets that Charlie proclaims practice to be over, and everyone stretches after having rehearsed for so long.
Thanks again, all. We'll meet back here in the conference room tomorrow.
Charlie looks at the plaque on the wall thoughtfully, which have the words conference room on it.
Actually, I think we should probably rename it to a music room now, huh?
That sounds great, Charlie. Lucifer smiles and taps the plaque on the wall. The words immediately rearrange to write music room, and the gold sign shines brightly under the warm light.
Ooh!
Charlie squeals with excitement.
Thanks, Dad. This looks perfect.
Doesn't it? Lucifer preens under his daughter's praise, and Alastor walks over to inspect the plaque, his eyes scouring it carefully.
Oh, you really need to have better taste in things.
What the hell do you know?
More than you, apparently.
Alastor snaps his fingers, and he summons an etching of a deer on the plaque, flanking the words on the left. Charlie gasps at this, her eyes sparkling, and Lucifer feels a bit wounded. Charlie, I thought you'd have my back.
I'm sorry, Dad. It's just so cute.
Charlie looks at it with so much wonder that Lucifer taps on the sign anyway, and out of spite, he engraves a small duck on the right. The animals look quite at home together, actually, and she coos over the imagery.
You and your ducks.
Alastor's voice is quiet. Lucifer pays no heed to him and looks at the plaque, admiring his handiwork. But Alastor's eyes are fixed onto his profile, looking at the planes of Lucifer's face, and Angel Dust watches all this unfurl with bewilderment.
Charlie, what the hell is going on with your dad and Alastor?
Angel Dust asks vehemently. Huh? Charlie's neck deep in paperwork, and the dark circles under her eyes indicate her lack of sleep.
Sorry, I'm just so busy with everything right now. What happened? Are things tense between them?
No, they're like...
Angel Dust can't even begin to describe it.
I mean, it is tense, but in a different way.
Angel?
Charlie focuses her attention back on her work. Sorry, I just really have to get this done.
Look, I'm a master at my craft, right? I do this for a living.
Angel Dust gestures wildly with all 6 of his arms.
I'm telling you, I think they're up to something. A little bit of this and a little bit of that, you know?
He sprawls across the table suggestively, and Charlie groans at this.
I'll get your head out of the gutter, Angel. I'm sure they're just trying their best.
Angel Dust picks himself up and grumbles. Fine, but on my words, I will get to the bottom of this, and I'll bring you proof, too.
It's the night before the ball, and it's a cliche, a tale as old as time, but Lucifer has difficulties sleeping. He sits on his windowsill debating if he should go for a midnight flight to clear his mind. The sky is a dark pink, lit up by the brilliant glow of the red moon, and he's always found this to be his favorite part of hell. It's vastly different from the brilliant blue skies of heaven, but it's beautiful too. Truly 2 halves of a whole. Lucifer hears the crunching of gravel beneath them, and when he looks down, he sees Alastor traipsing about the perimeters, adding the finishing touches on the building before the party. He's using his radio cane to embellish different areas, conjuring up shiny objects and artful decor. As if feeling his stare, Alastor tilts his head up to look at him.
Spying on me?
Alastor mocks.
Am I that entertaining?
You sure are self-absorbed. Lucifer scoffs. You're the one walking underneath my window, idiot. Like a planet orbiting the sun. Lucifer feels the pull to see him. But he doesn't cave in. Not yet. What are you doing? Lucifer calls out. Stalking some prey.
Just touching up a few things before the event. As the faculty manager, my job is never ending.
Alastor waves his radio cane to trim the surrounding topiaries.
And what are you doing up? You should catch up on your beauty sleep. You need it.
Wow, that's funny. Why don't you look in a mirror first?
Why, you've already cracked every single one with your reflection.
Lucifer lets out a haggard sigh and slips back into his room. Although there are some things he wants to ask Alastor about, he's fatigued, worried about tomorrow, and he's still trying to memorize his part in the musical finale anyway. But then...
Lucifer.
He peeks his head out the window, and Alastor is still there, standing perfectly still in the center of the garden.
Come down here. Alastor demands more so than asks. Why? Lucifer replies sullenly.
Well, it's clear that you have something on your mind. It's unsettling that Alastor noticed this.
Are you sure you're not telepathic or something? Lucifer asks cautiously, but he still swoops down to land right in front of him. There's a question on the tip of his tongue, actually, one that he's been pondering about for a while, and he paces back and forth to summon up the words.
Can you get to the point?
Alastor squints at him.
I am very busy tonight.
You're the one who called me down here, Lucifer yells, takes in a deep breath to calm himself down. And as Alastor twirls his radio cane in his hands, he finally asks, the V's will be here. Sure that's okay? Alastor pauses, and he doesn't seem to fully understand his question.
Of course. They are merely small fry, and they can't lift a finger against me anyway.
But...
How does he ask this delicately?
Vox seemed really... into you. Is he an ex or something? Alastor doesn't respond, and Lucifer's heart stops for a moment, until Alastor yanks him forward, pulls him in face to face so he sees the blazing fury flaring in his scarlet eyes.
Now, shut your mouth before you say any more disgusting nonsense.
Alastor is so offended that his voice lowers into radio static, dark and muddled.
You are wrong, of course. And why do you care?
I don't, Lucifer says aptly. He slaps his hand away, and Alastor shoves him back, and they end up grabbing each other, fast, swift motions that lights a fire under him. He unfurls his wings and leaps up into the air with Alastor hot on his trail. They twist around the roof of the hotel, the crunch of tiles underneath their shoes, punching and striking with reckless abandon, and it's easier to be with Alastor when they don't talk, and Lucifer doesn't have time to overthink. Subconsciously, he notices that they weave around each other fluidly, almost like a dance.
You are so fast!
Alastor snarls, unwittingly complimenting it. You're just sloppy. Lucifer throws Alastor's words back at him, and his red eyes flash brighter, vexed but intrigued, and Alastor finally grabs his wrist and shoves him down onto the roof, his back slamming into the tiles painfully. Not for the first time, Lucifer feels how large his hand is, pinning his arm in a vice grip over his head. But then, Alastor lets go, and gently, delicately, softly, his fingers touch Lucifer's palm, gossamer light. It's barely noticeable, nearly imperceptible, the slightest graze of skin on skin. But it sparks electricity in its wake as Alastor's hand trails further down his wrist, across his arm, and he doesn't push him off, doesn't want to even try. Just lets Alastor draw invisible paintings with his fingers while using Lucifer's skin as the canvas. What are you doing? It's hard for him to speak. Do you want me to stop? Alastor's pupils are blown wide, and Lucifer shuts up. He's looking at him, mesmerized as a bead of sweat rolls down Alastor's jawline, drills down his neck, disappears beneath his shirt collar. It's fascinating in its mundanity, arresting in its appearance. God, since when did this count for entertainment? But Alastor makes the decision for him.
2-0.
Alastor grins wickedly. Huh?
You should step up your game. I have won 2 fights while you have won 0.
Oh, fuck you. I'll win next time for sure. Lucifer yells, pushing him off. Alastor cackles and rolls over to sit down beside him, leaving somewhat of a distance between them. They watch the waxing moon together, and it's so red it washes everything around them in a hazy, dreamy glow. Lucifer turns to look at him, can still feel the ghost of Alastor's fingertips on his skin, warm and careful. It's an intoxicating feeling, and he forcefully yanks his shirt sleeves down over his arm, wrist, palms. Alastor stands up and pats his suit down neatly on the cusp of leaving, and Lucifer doesn't want to end the conversation. Not yet. So he grabs him by the tail of his overcoat. Alastor swivels back, but he's only looking at Lucifer's hand, his eyes fixed on it like it's the most interesting thing in the world. Hey. He grasps for something to say. Do you know what favor you're going to ask?
Alastor's eyes widen, and he taps his chin thoughtfully as he digests his question.
Is our deal reaching its end?
Not a deal.
Well, I have toyed with some ideas. Alastor's smile practically doubles in size. Perhaps I'll drink your blood. I've tried an angel's head before, and it was quite tasty. Lucifer drops his overcoat immediately, and he shudders at the prospect.
Ugh, are you serious? Over my dead body, bitch.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
Alastor guffaws, and he turns around again, and Lucifer struggles to think of something to say. Again! Compliment! Lucifer blurts out, startling Alastor so much he falters for a second. Did you? He coughs, choking on air. Have a compliment today.
It is quite rare for you to ask first.
Alastor looks genuinely surprised at this.
What an occasion.
Alastor sits back down beside him in a cross-legged formation. He thinks for a moment, then rummages around in his bucket before pulling out the familiar shape of a rubber duck.
You know, this is unexpectedly well made. You don't appear to be a skilled craftsman whatsoever.
Alastor shoves the duck right into his face, and Lucifer has to lean back to avoid getting clobbered by his own creation. What? Hey! He scowls at the backhanded compliment. And then pauses. Do you just carry that around with you? Alastor looks almost exasperated by this question.
Why, I have no idea where to put it. You gave me this responsibility without even asking if I wanted it.
Oh, is that so? Lucifer ups and tries to grab it. Well, return it to me then. Alastor holds it up above his head, cackling because he knows Lucifer can't reach that high up, not unless he flies.
No takebacks,
he sings, and Lucifer is suddenly struck with the memory of Alastor saying those same words when they played music together for the first time.
Now what is my praise,
The moon illuminates Alastor from the back, the light rosy and warm, and he's so overwhelmingly red that Lucifer has to look away. Lucifer sighs from irritation and lies down onto the roof. You hurt my head.
Is that your compliment today?
Alastor glares at him. Alastor glances at him from the corner of his eyes.
Not a very good one, Lucifer.
It's a heady rush hearing Alastor say his name, and Lucifer clenches his hands into fists, digging his nails so deeply into his palms that it draws blood. Date of the ball. Tonight. Duration from dawn till dusk. Okay, everyone, here's the final guest list. Charlie taps on her clipboard, and they all crowd around to see it. She flips page after page, and there are at least hundreds of names, all in alphabetical order. When Charlie spies the name Katie Killjoy, she lets out an irritated sigh. Katie Killjoy! Charlie actually looks upset for a second before clearing her throat. Sorry. I'm just not a huge fan. But, everyone deserves an opportunity, right?
What you doing in it?
Angel Dust asks. Lucifer flicks through the pages, trying to see if he recognizes any other names in there. Well, she personally asked to broadcast the event, I guess. The more publicity, the better. I can think of a million reasons why that is not better. Husk grumbles. Well, we'll just have to take a leap of faith, Charlie says cheerfully. Okay, showtime, everyone. Let's wait for Alastor to bring our clothes, get dressed, and make it a night to remember. Actually, where is he even?
Looking for me?
Alastor sing-songs from a distance, and his every step is loud on the tiled floor. Click, click, click. Speak of the devil, and he appears. Husk mutters under his breath. Lucifer turns around to see him, and there's
Alastor, eat.
His hairstyle it's tied back into a ponytail. And Lucifer watches him walk towards them, and the angel dust watches Lucifer watching Alastor, and Charlie runs up to him cheerfully, unaware of what was happening. Alastor, your hair looks great, Charlie says enthusiastically, and your outfit too.
Gotta say, you do clean up nice.
Angel Dust suddenly elbows Lucifer, his eyes piercingly searching. What'd you think? Me? Lucifer blinks, confused. Angel Dust stares deeply into his eyes, and he looks like he's hanging onto his every word. It's just hair, isn't it? Angel Dust lets out an exasperated sigh.
What about his outfit, Short King? Lucifer had been so distracted by his new hair that he hadn't even noticed the three-piece suit Alastor was wearing, still red and black, but with a tie instead of a bow. Oh, looks fine.
Yo!
Angel does bemoan, slapping two of his hands over his face.
You're not giving me anything to work with.
Work with what? Lucifer asks, but Angel Dust has already slinked away, leaning on to husk for comfort.
I have prepared a little something for all of you, of course.
Alastor snaps his fingers. In a flash, he deposits beautiful costumes and masks into everyone's hands. Lucifer looks down at his new clothes, the same color scheme as usual. White, red, pink, gold. But his jacket is mostly red. Wait, why is my coat red? Lucifer trails off when he sees Alastor's smile grow wider and wider, and he regrets asking immediately.
Let it be known that I am a person of my word.
Alastor places his hand on his chest proudly.
Did you forget? I already told you I'll get you a red one to match your face.
Bitch! Lucifer throws his clothes down onto the ground, and Alastor continues to chortle as Lucifer runs after him, sidestepping any sort of attempted attacks that he makes. Is this what you wanted to make the clothes, Alastor? Maggie realizes. Angel Dust breaks up at this, and he leads in nosily.
Oh, is that so?
Angel Dust says, and he furiously jots it down on his notepad. Okay, so hair's a bust, but looks like clothes, maybe. What are you writing there, kid? Husk looks down at his notebook curiously.
I told you I'm sleuthing, alright?
Angel Dust mumbles, his eyes still fixed on Alastor and Lucifer.
There's something fishy going on over there, and I'm gonna find out if I'm right. Oh, the Rehearsing Hotel!
Katie Killjoy says, annoyed. She's standing in front of the hotel with her camera crew, and she's holding her microphone in her hands.
The Royal Mixture is a huge fucking pain in my ass.
She turns around to look at Velvet, who is currently scrolling on her phone.
Hey, you!
Katie barks.
You sure about this? Because if you're lying to me, I'm gonna sue the shit out of you.
Oh, shut up! Velvet groans. She finally puts her phone down and she sticks her tongue out in anger. I ain't a liar, alright? And like we talked about, you don't know where you got any of these. Besides, real or fake, you know it'd make a good headline. At this, Katie flips through her camera footage and she cackles a bit.
Well, it does look pretty good,
Katie admits.
Anything for the news, right?
Okay, Grandma. Velvet responds dismissively and Katie growls at her.
Oh, fuck you, honey.
Katie motions for her camera crew to join her, and they step in front of the entrance to the hotel.
Tom, get your ass over here.
Already on it! Tom Trench adjusts his gas mask, and they stand in front of the doors expectantly.
Alright then. Lights, camera, action!